Salter-Harris classification is a classification used to describe fractures involving the growth plate in children, making this classification a very important one because growth plate can affect the bone growth. Salter-Harris classification has 5 types. Type 1, the fracture is through the growth plate only. In Type 2, the fracture is through the growth plate and metaphysis. In Type 3, the fracture is through the growth plate and epiphysis. In Type 4, the fracture is through them all, metaphysis, growth plate, and epiphysis. Type 5, the fracture has crushed the growth plate, i.e. the growth plate is ruined. Now to easily memorize this, just use the word Salter, and remember that this is Salter-Harris classification, and use his name without the E letter to be just Salter, like this. S for slipped, i.e. straight across the plate. This is type 1. A for above, i.e. above the physis or the growth plate. I also use this letter to remember that type 2 is the most common one, yes, still above. L for lower or below the physis or the growth plate. T is for through, i.e. through the epiphysis, physis, and metaphysis. R for ruined, i.e. the growth plate is ruined in type 5. The problem of type 5 is that it has poor prognosis and growth arrest is common as sign of crushed growth plate. However, in type 4 there is also a risk of growth disturbance.